All right, now joined by NCAA Tournament bound Alan Huss, the head coach of the High Point Panthers, just won the Big South Tournament title. A year ago, Alan, you came up short in your first season as a head coach, won the regular season, end up losing in a heartbreaker in the semis. To along with this year, you get it done in the title game. What was it like? How much did it mean, especially after what you went through a year ago?
Especially for those guys that decided to come back. You lose a game like that last year. We went to the CBI, we played for the championship. We ended up losing the finals of that thing too. So, we went immediately into trying to get our guys back and trying to talk them into coming back and running it back. And we got all but kind of one of our key pieces back from a season ago. Lost Duke Miles to Oklahoma, but the rest of those guys made the decision to come back with us and try it again. And so for those guys especially, it's pretty awesome watching the kind of the vision come into become a part of become reality, really.
Huss, you guys were down by 15 in the second half, right? And I think a big part of your run today to win this game came with your second five on the floor, with some of the guys off of your bench. What does it say about this group that in a Big South tournament game with an NCAA tournament berth on the line, you can go to some of these guys off the bench and know that they can go out there and win a game for you?
It's a great feeling as a coach. Sometimes it's difficult because we have some really capable guys over there that don't get a crack. Our strategy since we've kind of gotten these guys back healthy, and we've had a weird year because the first half of the year, we had most of those guys were out injured. Pettiford was out, Hildebrandt was out, Anderson was out, Keza went in and out, and then a number of other just kind of Demar got hurt. We missed a lot of guys throughout the year, and so once they all kind of got back healthy, really for the last 45 days or so, we're just now getting to know each other and kind of learning how to play with a full deck. So we're kind of giving everybody a crack in the first half, and then we just kind of see what happens in the second half. Go with the guys that are rolling, and it's a little different in today's day and age. Like a lot of people don't play this way, but it seems to have worked for us.
So why can this team pull an upset? And I know obviously you don't know who you're playing, but why does this team have the capability to win a game in the NCAA tournament?
Number one, I think physically we can match up with some people. We're a really skilled team. We've tried to model ourselves kind of in the Creighton mold. Obviously, Mac taught me a lot of what I attempt to execute. So we try to replicate that. Not to the same level that they do, but we've got the big 7-foot center in the middle that can really play drop coverage. You can bait some people into some mid-range shots and protect the rim. And we've got shooting everywhere. And so we haven't shot the ball very well for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We need to get that fixed here the 10 or so days we have before we play. But we're a team that can spread you out. We can play a number of different styles. Today was a little bit of a slugfest, really physical, and we figured out a way in that one. And if it's a team that wants to run up and down and shoot threes, we can play that way too.
Yeah, so we haven't seen you guys go up against a Power 5 team yet this season, but you have a lot of pieces on this roster that have been at the Power 5 level before. Kansas, Mississippi State, Texas Tech. They're not going to be shocked by what they see when it comes to length and athleticism and anything they run into with someone that you will end up playing in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Is that an advantage for you guys? Is that something that you think can help your players be ready for what they're going to see in the first round of the dance?
For sure. I mean, we have big, long bodies in practice, on both teams. And so we've got some pretty competitive practice reps that happen. And to your point, we've got a lot of guys that've got some, albeit limited experience in a lot of cases. They've at least been through those practices and, played sparingly on the Power 5 teams that they were a part of. So we're not going to be afraid. We're going to go out there and swing away, and somebody might clip us and we might give somebody a game, but I can promise you we won't be afraid. That's not going to be our deal.
Hey, Huss, how does this compare to a title at La Lumiere? The difference.
Well, number one, I didn't get the title there ever. Shane Hireman, my assistant, got it after I left, that's been kind of a deal for me. Like, you get the dead weight out of the way and they start playing a lot better. I figured for sure Creighton win the national championship when Mac finally got rid of me. No, it's fun winning at every level. For these guys though, and there's so much written and so much talked about, so much tweeted about, so much out there, just that's such negative energy about everything wrong with collegiate sports right now. And we've got a group that's selfless. We've got a group right now that, that all, pretty much every one of our returners could have gone, up a level, if you will, could have gotten substantially more money somewhere. They chose to come back. They chose to kind of pull together. And for that, it's awesome. It's fun. That's what's right about college sports. This is a group that stayed together. Continuity is winning here.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about that because you brought a bunch of guys back, and a lot of these guys came back to play roles off the bench. They joined this program to play a role off the bench, and I think the fact that we are now in March and you have 10 guys that are basically playing major roles on this team, and it doesn't seem like anyone's complaining. It seems like everyone's kind of like, how did you manage to pull this off? How have you built a level of culture and continuity there when there's this much turnover?
Have you ever been to High Point? It's like Four Seasons. It's literally like a Ritz-Carlton.
That's part of it. It's a pretty nice place to be. I think it's pretty simple. We've got a bunch of guys that have been other places. I think it starts with guys like Kimani Hamilton. Kimani's a guy that could easily average 20 points a game. Doesn't care if he scores. Makes the right play every single time. Bobby Pettiford, arguably our most talented player. Bobby comes off the bench for us, doesn't complain. Whether he plays 18 minutes or plays 25 minutes, 28 minutes, whether he scores 2 points or 20 points. He was the MVP. He came off the bench all 3 games. He was the MVP of this tournament. But I think when you have guys like that have been at Mississippi State and Kansas, they've been at those levels. They know that they know and understand that for us to win at the level we need to, we've got to have a deep team. We've got to have depth because we get, the one thing we do get is we get everybody's best shot every night. We've been the talking heads and the pundits and everybody else, the ones that at least acknowledge the Big South. They've been picking us to win every game all year. We've been a favorite in pretty much every game we played all season. That's a difficult space. It's obviously it beats the alternative being an underdog every game. But it's from a mental standpoint, it's difficult to get up. And without depth, you're inevitably will have some letdowns. And so when we have letdowns, we got somebody else that's willing and able to go in there and lift us up.
Well, Huss, appreciate it. Congrats. 2 regular season titles, now a tournament title in the Big South, and an NCAA tournament berth in just your 2nd season. Amazing how quickly you've been able to turn it there. Congrats. Get a few days to kind of decombust a little bit and enjoy it.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
You got it, man.
I want my home to feel like my home. So whether I'm looking for big furniture, just a small piece for my place, or maybe some storage solutions for the basement or the garage, the answer is Wayfair. Seriously, I needed a new patio set and fire pit for my backyard. I bought it on Wayfair. It looks great on our deck, and it gives me an excuse to fire up the smoker, invite some friends over, crack a couple beers. Just last week, I bought a new chair for my office, someplace comfortable to sit while the madness takes up the 4 screens in front of me. I got it on Wayfair, clicked a few buttons. A couple days later, it showed up at my front door. They even offered to help set it up for you. Digging through online stores can be intimidating. Trust me, I know. It can be hard to find what you're looking for in your price range, but not on Wayfair. They have great options, even if you are balling on a budget like me. Wayfair has every style for every home, including mine and yours. So head to wayfair.com and shop everything home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.